I never thought I'd be the guy who'd say, I think she's cheating. You hear about these things happening to others, not to someone like me, someone who's built a life around loyalty, quiet commitment, and trust. But there I was, alone in our kitchen past midnight, staring at her phone sitting just inches from mine on the counter, screen lit up with a notification she clearly didn't mean for me to see. No name, just a number. A message preview. Last night was perfect. I can still feel you.
I didn't open it.
Not yet. I just stood there, heart pounding like a drumline in my ears, trying to convince myself it was innocent. A joke from a friend. A mistake. Anything but what my gut was already screaming. We'd been married 5 years. Solid years, or so I thought. She was funny, grounded, a little unpredictable, and that's what pulled me in back when we met. We'd built routines, shared dreams, and filled our space with inside jokes and half-finished Netflix series. But lately, something had shifted. She started spending more time working late, always tired, barely present. Her laugh wasn't as easy. Her kisses shorter. Still, I held out. I gave her the benefit of every doubt, even when logic whispered otherwise. But that night, I waited until she was asleep. I unlocked her phone with a code I wasn't supposed to know. My hands trembled. My chest ached. I found it in a hidden folder in her gallery, an album she thought was private. No names, no faces. Just a short video, maybe a minute long. The quality was poor, the angle low, but there was no mistaking her voice. Soft at first, then louder. Her laugh. Her moans. Words I hadn't heard her say in months. And the man? I couldn't see his face.
Just his body.
His hand on her lower back. His voice a muffled whisper. Faceless. Nameless, but present.
Real.
Too real. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't even confront her. I just watched it twice, then closed the folder, set the phone back, and walked to the bathroom. I stared at myself in the mirror, feeling like a stranger. The version of me that trusted her, loved her, believed in her, that man cracked into pieces somewhere in the darkness of that night. I couldn't sleep. Not even close. I lay beside her as she breathed peacefully, unaware that the truth she'd buried had surfaced. My mind raced through every moment I missed, every red flag I brushed off. I didn't know who I was angrier at, her or myself. But I knew one thing. This wouldn't be a quiet ending. I wasn't going to just walk away. She had taken my trust, ripped it from my hands, and stomped on it like it meant nothing. And now I was going to make sure she felt what I felt. She wouldn't be able to hide behind half smiles and sweet words anymore. Not after this. For days, I moved through the house like a ghost, silent and observant. She carried on like nothing happened, asking about my day, making small talk, even cuddling up to me on the couch like everything was fine. Her audacity made me sick. I responded with short nods, measured words, carefully masking the storm underneath. I needed her to feel secure, unsuspecting. That was the only way this would work. I started making copies of the video. USB, cloud, backup email. I wasn't taking chances. It was only a minute long, but it carried the weight of every lie she told, every kiss she gave me while thinking of someone else. I played it back once more, not because I needed to, but because I wanted the disgust to sharpen. I wanted to remember what this woman was capable of. She started planning her parents' anniversary dinner. Big thing, close family and friends, slideshow of memories, sentimental speeches. She asked me to help with the music and photo edits. I said yes. She smiled like she still had me. That's when I knew the setup was perfect. I wasn't just going to walk away. That would have been mercy.
No.
I was going to strip away the mask she wore so comfortably. She had fooled everyone, her family, our friends, even me. But not anymore. I would hold up the mirror and force her to look. And not just her. Everyone would see it. I chose the last 5 minutes of the slideshow to insert the clip. Subtle fade in, no warning. The music would stop mid-note. Her voice would take over. No face, just sound. But it would be enough. I made sure of it. There was no doubt it was her, the way she said his name, the way she giggled, the tone she used. The things she never said to me, Never in years. I tested the file multiple times, adjusted the audio, double-checked the transitions. I wasn't going for shock value. I was going for exposure. Clean, undeniable, and final. She had no idea. She texted him every other day now, sometimes while sitting beside me. I didn't confront her, because what would that do? Give her a chance to lie again? Cry, apologize, blame me? I wasn't interested in her performance. I wanted the truth to come out where she couldn't script her way through it. The guest list was set. Her parents were excited. Friends, colleagues, even our neighbors were invited. A warm celebration for a couple who supposedly raised a daughter full of integrity, loyalty, class. I wanted them to see what I saw. I'd already decided that once the video played, I'd leave. No speeches. No explanations. Just truth, dropped like a bomb in the middle of their picture-perfect gathering. And then silence. Let her explain her way out of that. Let them look her in the eye and pretend they don't hear her voice echoing in their heads. She thought she could control the narrative. She was wrong. I never thought I'd be the guy of clinking glasses
I think
and
she's
polite
cheating.
laughter.
Her
Hear
father
about these
raised
things
a
happening
toast,
to others,
thanking
not to
everyone
someone
for
like
coming.
me. His
Someone
voice
who's
full
built a
of
life
warmth
around
and
loyalty,
pride. Quiet
she stood next
commitment
to me,
and trust.
hand
But
resting
there
lightly
I
on
was,
mine, alone
as
in
if
our
we were
kitchen
still
past
that
midnight,
perfect couple
staring
everyone
at her
thought
phone
we
sitting
were.
just inches
Her
from mine
smile
on the
never
counter.
wavered.
Not
Screen lit up
even
with a
once.
notification.
I wondered if
she
she
even
clearly
remembered
didn't
the
mean
video,
for me to see.
or if she had
No
buried
name,
it so deep
just
in
a
her
number.
mind.
A
She
message
convinced
preview.
herself it
Last
never
night was
happened.
perfect.
I kept my
I
silence,
can still feel you.
nodded at the right
I didn't
moments,
open it.
shook hands,
Not yet.
played along.
I just
It was
stood
the
there,
final act,
heart pounding
and
like
I wasn't
a drum
going to
line
break
in my
character.
ears.
Her
Trying to
mother
convince
thanked
myself
me for
it was
helping with the
innocent.
slideshow. A joke
I
from a
told
friend.
her it was my
A
pleasure.
mistake.
Then the lights
Anything
dimmed,
but what my
and
gut was
everyone
already
turned
screaming
toward the screen.
We'd been married
Soft
5
music
years.
played.
Childhood
Solid years
photos.
So I thought.
Vacations.
She was
Wedding
funny,
pictures of her
grounded,
parents,
a little
smiling through the
unpredictable.
years.
And that's
The
what
room
pulled
was
me in
quiet
back when we met.
Sentimental.
We'd built routines,
exactly as
shared
expected.
dreams, and
she
filled
leaned
our
her head
space
against
with
my
inside
shoulder,
jokes and
completely
half-finished
unaware
Netflix
of what was
series.
coming.
But
I
lately,
watched her,
not
something
the
had
screen.
shifted. I waited.
She started spending more
45
time
seconds
working late.
left.
Always
30,
tired,
15,
barely present.
The final
Her
family
laugh
picture
wasn't
faded,
as easy,
and the music
her
cut
kisses
abruptly.
shorter.
Static
Still, I
buzzed
held
for
out.
half a second.
I gave her the
Then her
benefit
voice
of
filled the
every
room.
doubt, a soft
Even when
gasp
logic
escaped
whispered
someone's
otherwise.
lips.
But
Her
that
laugh
night,
echoed.
I waited
Familiar
until she
and
was asleep.
unmistakable.
I unlocked
Then
her
the
phone
moan.
with a code.
Then
I
the
wasn't
words.
supposed to know.
Every
My
second
hands
dragged
trembled,
like a knife
my
being
chest
slowly
ached.
drawn across
I found
skin.
it in a hidden
No
folder in her
faces,
gallery. An
just
album
sound.
she
Just
thought was
the
private.
rawness of
No
betrayal.
names, no
Her
faces.
voice,
breathy.
just a short
intimate,
video,
maybe
saying
a minute
things no
long.
one should hear
The quality
outside a
was
bedroom.
poor.
The
Certainly
angle
not
low,
here, not
but
now.
there was no
The
mistaking her
silence
voice.
was
Soft
unbearable.
at first.
A
Then
few
louder.
people shifted in their
Her
seats.
laugh.
Her
Her
moans,
mother covered her mouth.
Words I hadn't
Her
heard
father
her say
looked
in
confused
months.
at first,
And
then
the man,
horrified.
I couldn't
felt
see
her
his
hand
face,
stiffen,
just
then
his
disappear.
body. His
She
hand
stood on her
frozen.
lower back,
Eyes
his voice
locked on
a
the
muffled
screen
whisper.
like
She couldn't
faceless,
believe what was happening.
nameless,
Denial
but present.
clung to her face.
Real.
But
Too
the
real.
damage was done.
I didn't scream.
She turned to me.
I didn't cry.
whispering my name.
I didn't even confront
I didn't
her.
respond.
I just
She
watched it
whispered
twice,
again,
then closed
louder
the
this
folder,
time.
set the phone
What did you
back,
do?
and walked to the
But
bathroom.
she knew.
I stared
One
at
of her
myself
friends
in
stood
the
up
mirror
and said,
feeling like a
"Is
stranger.
this a joke?" The version
Another
of me
whispered,
that trusted her,
That's her
loved
voice.
her, believed
That's
in her.
Definitely her.
That man cracked
She
into
stumbled
pieces
back
somewhere
a step,
in the darkness
stammering.
of that night. It's
I
not what it
couldn't
looks
sleep.
like. It's
Not
even
me.
close.
You can't
I
prove
lay
it to me.
beside her as she breathed
But her voice,
peacefully, her
unaware
distinct,
that the truth
familiar
she buried
voice
had surfaced,
was louder than
my
any
mind
lie
raced
she
through
tried to speak.
every moment I missed.
Her mother started
Every
crying.
red flag
Her
I
father
brushed
looked
off.
away.
I didn't
Someone
know
muttered,
who I was angrier
Jesus
at, her
Christ.
or myself.
I stood
But
still,
I knew one thing.
watching her unravel.
This wouldn't be a
She
quiet
didn't
ending.
fall apart.
I wasn't going to
gracefully.
just walk away.
She broke in jagged,
She had taken my
desperate
trust,
pieces,
ripped it
trying
from my
to gather
hand,
herself in
and
front of
stomped
people
on it
who
like
no
it meant
longer
nothing.
saw her the same
And
way.
now I was going
There
to
was
make sure
nothing
she
more to
felt
say.
what I felt.
I didn't argue.
She wouldn't be able to hide
I didn't
behind
need to.
half smiles
The silence
and sweet
around
words
us
anymore.
did the talking. Not
The
after
video
this.
stopped.
For
The
days,
screen went
I
black.
moved through the house.
I turned
like a
and
ghost,
walked out,
silent,
left her
and
standing there
observant.
in the ruins
She
of her
carried
own
on like
making,
nothing happened,
surrounded by the people
asking about
she
my
once
day, making
fooled.
small talk,
Let her
even
explain.
cuddling up to me on the
Let
couch
her scramble.
like everything was fine.
I had shown them the
her
truth.
audacity.
My
made me
part was
sick.
done.
I responded
I drove
with
without a
short nods,
destination, just
measured
needed
words,
distance.
carefully
Her voice
masking
still
the storm
echoed in my
underneath.
head.
Not
I
from the
needed her
video,
to feel secure,
but the way she called after me,
unsuspecting. That was
panicked,
the only
trying
way
to
this would
reverse
work.
something that was already
I started making
irreversible.
copies of the video.
My phone buzzed,
USB,
over
cloud,
and over.
backup
Her
email,
name,
her
I wasn't
parents,
taking chances.
a couple of friends.
It was only
I
a
didn't
minute
answer
long,
any of them,
but it carried the
Let them
weight
sit
of
with
every
what they
lie
saw.
she told.
Let them
Every
process
kiss
it in
she
their
gave
own
me while
silence,
thinking of
like
someone
I had
else.
to in mine.
I played it
By
back
the
once
time I
more,
reached home,
not because
the
I needed
adrenaline
to,
had
but
faded.
because
I
I wanted
wasn't
the disgust
angry.
to sharpen.
Not anymore.
I wanted to remember
Just
what this
done.
woman was capable
Her keys
of.
were still on
She
the hook.
started planning her parents'
perfume
anniversary
lingered
dinner
in the hallway.
Big thing.
I
Close
went to our
family
bedroom,
and friends,
opened the
slideshow
closet,
of memories,
and started packing
sentimental
her things.
speeches. No
She
yelling,
asked me to
no
help with the
crying,
music and photo
just
edits.
movement.
I
It
said
was
yes.
mechanical, necessary.
She smiled like
one drawer
she still
at a
had me.
time.
That's
Her
when
life
I knew
with
the
me
setup was perfect.
reduced to a few bags.
I wasn't
and
just going to
boxes.
walk away.
I left
That
her
would have
wedding
been
ring
mercy.
on the dresser.
No.
Not out of
I was going to
pettiness.
strip away the
It
mask
just didn't
she
belong
wore
to me
so
anymore.
comfortably.
She showed up
She had
after
fooled
midnight,
everyone, her
banging
family,
on the door.
our friends,
I didn't open
even
it.
me. She
But
sat
not
outside for
anymore.
nearly half an hour.
I would hold up the
crying,
mirror,
pleading,
and force her to
and
look.
blaming,
And not
Said
just her.
I humiliated
Everyone
her,
would see it.
destroyed her
I
reputation,
chose the last
5
ruined her
minutes of the slideshow.
She never said
clip.
sorry.
Subtle
Not
fade
once.
in, no warning.
Not really.
The music would
Just
stop
that I
mid-note.
overreacted.
Her voice
That I
would
should
take
have
over.
talked to her first.
No face, just
that
sound.
no one had the
But
right
it
to
would be
judge her
enough.
based on a moment.
I made sure of it.
A moment.
There was no doubt
She
it was her.
destroyed years
the way
of
she
love
said his name,
for a
the way
moment.
she giggled,
I didn't
the tone
speak.
she used.
Just watched
the
things she never
peephole
said to
as
me.
she fell apart
Never
on the
in
other
years.
side.
I
Eventually,
tested the
she
file
left.
multiple times.
I don't know where
Adjusted
she
the
went.
audio. I didn't
Double-checked
ask.
the transitions.
Her parents texted
I wasn't
the
going
next
for
morning.
shock value.
Her mother
I
apologized.
was going for exposure.
Her father didn't
Clean,
say much.
undeniable,
just that
and
he
final.
hoped I found peace.
She had no idea.
I think they
She
finally
texted
saw
him
who she
every
really
other
was.
day now, sometimes
Not just
while
the woman
sitting
in the video,
beside me, but the
I
version
didn't
she
confront
hid
her
behind
because
smiles
what would that
and
do?
polite gestures.
Give her a chance to
Some
lie
friends
again?
called to check
Cry,
in, apologize,
Others went
blame
quiet.
me. I wasn't
didn't blame
interested
them.
in her performance.
People don't like
I wanted the
choosing
truth
sides,
to come out where she
even when the
couldn't script her
truth's
way
loud
through it. And ugly.
The guest list was
But
set.
I didn't need
Her
anyone
parents
to
were
pick
excited.
me.
Friends,
already
colleagues,
chosen
even our
myself.
neighbors were invited.
The silence
A
that
warm
followed was the
celebration
loudest
for a
part.
couple who
No
supposedly
more
raised a
pretending.
daughter full of
No more
integrity,
wondering. Loyalty,
just quiet honesty.
class.
I
wanted
looked
them
around
to
the
see
house
what I saw.
and felt its emptiness.
I'd already decided
Not as
that
a
once
loss,
the video played,
but as a beginning,
I'd leave.
No more questions.
No speeches.
No more double
explanations
life behind the screen.
Just truth.
I thought about the
Dropped
man
like a
in the
bomb
video,
in the middle of
the
their
faceless
picture-perfect
voice.
gathering.
I didn't
And
care
then silence.
who he was.
Let her explain
Didn't
her way out of
matter.
that.
He got
Let
a version
them look her in
of
the
her built
eye
on
and
lies.
pretend they don't
I
hear
got
her
out.
voice echoing in their
People
heads.
say revenge doesn't
She thought
heal
she
anything.
could control the narrative.
Maybe they're right.
She was wrong.
But sometimes the truth is the only justice you get. I didn't expose her for applause. I did it because lies thrive in silence, and I was done being silent. I didn't get closure. I got clarity. And sometimes that's better. Because clarity doesn't need forgiveness. It just needs the truth. And that, finally, is all I have left.